The first drive is a great milestone in any project car, maybe the greatest, but it often comes with problems. Bolts you forgot to tighten, wires you forgot to run. It's not so bad with some project cars because you can just take them around the block, near your garage, maybe with a friend following you with a tow strap, but this car is very long, very low to the ground, and it has the turning radius of a Typhoon. So we're going to have to take it out to the desert. YouTube has plenty of first drive videos, and a lot of them follow the same format. There's usually about 15 minutes of BS filler that you don't need, and then right at the end, the first drive. But I'm not going to do that to you. I know your time is valuable. We're going to take this thing, we're going to put it on a trailer, we're going to get right to the first drive. Wait, do I own a trailer? Auto racing is one of those things that always costs way more than you think it should. You budget out your build, add a little bit extra just in case, and at the end of the day, you're still only going to be halfway there, at best. There are all sorts of things that you just don't think about, like a trailer. You need a trailer. Well, I need a trailer, because the California Highway Patrol won't let me drive a 2-foot tall, 20-foot long motorcycle-powered car down the freeway for some reason. Land speed racing presents an extra challenge, especially for cars like mine. One of those challenges is the track width. Most cars have a width of about 60 inches. This car has a track width of about 18 inches, even less in the front. What this means is that the car won't fit on a lot of trailers, especially the ones from the trailer rental place. I could maybe line up all the wheels onto one ramp, but that seems dodgy. I did use one of their utility trailers before to get this car out to El Mirage for a tech inspection, but I didn't take it out of the trailer. I used my engine hoist to get it in the trailer, but I don't want to drag my engine hoist with me every time I go racing. I also hate going to the rental place, so no trailer rentals. Another big challenge is ground clearance. There are plenty of race cars that have very little ground clearance, but most of them don't have a 14-foot wheelbase. That large distance between the front and rear wheels gives the car a really bad breakover angle. The Jag also has its wheels pushed far forward and back, and that makes it really hard to get on a trailer. The land speed car is worse. It's both longer and lower. The ideal situation here would be a 25-foot long enclosed trailer with some sort of tilting mechanism to get the car loaded, but this sounds expensive. We're not even done, and this car is already at what economists sometimes call preposterously over budget. This fancy trailer is about 30 grand, which is more than I've spent on the entire project so far. This thing's pretty cool. It powers down to lower the back to ground level, but it's also $20,000, so we'll skip that one too. We're going to do this on the cheap. Here's what I need. I need a trailer that can tow this car, which is 16 feet long, less than 2 feet wide, weighs about 800 pounds, and has the world's worst breakover angle. I also need it to be less than 73 inches wide since the pathway to my backyard is quite narrow. My first thought was to drive to Harbor Freight, buy one of these, and just do some welding, but that's not the best idea. This trailer is rated for enough weight, but after spending many years engineering, you start to appreciate margins, like factors of safety. This ratchet strap is rated to 1,000 pounds, but chances are pretty good that it'll do twice that. Most things are stronger than they say they are, but there are a few areas where this is not true, and towing is one of them. Tow ratings on trucks used to be really bad. Ford would say, our truck can tow 5,000 pounds, and then Dodge would say, ours can do 6,000, and then Ford would come back and say, did we say 5? We meant 7. All of these numbers were driven by marketing as much as engineering. They've since come up with a towing standard, a strict set of tasks that a truck must be able to do with its towing capacity before you can say it has that towing capacity. Still, if you have a vehicle that's not really made for towing and it says it can tow 5,000 pounds, it often gets dicey when you get close, especially in the mountains. Trailers are the same way. If you have a 2,000 pound trailer, you probably don't want to put 2,000 pounds on it. There is another place where I don't trust the margins, and that's Harbor Freight. I don't have anything against Harbor Freight. In fact, I like them for a lot of stuff, but when they say something is good for 2,000 pounds, what I hear is that it's probably good for 2,000 pounds once. So at first, this seems ideal. I can build this and modify it for extra length. It's rated at twice the weight I need, and we're good to go. But when I factor in my negative Harbor Freight margin and my negative trailer margin, and look at these tiny 12-inch wheels and think about a $500 trailer towing my car halfway across the country that took me half a year to build, I think maybe not. You can buy trailer parts and trailer kits, and this did cross my mind. Why didn't I just weld it up myself? I could make it however I wanted to. The absolute bare minimum would be to weld a tongue on the front of this car, throw it in neutral, and drag it. Some of you thought of this and were about to suggest it in the comments. This is a terrible idea, and you should feel bad for thinking of it. For one, these tires are expensive and not DOT legal. This car is very low to the ground, so I'd be banging all sorts of road debris off the back here. Also, remember that narrow wheelbase? This thing would tip over changing lanes. Nope, what I need to do is make extensions that come off the axles. These could move the wheels out a couple of feet, then I throw on some trailer wheels with larger OD tires. As far as suspension, the car has it, so I'm good to go. This seems like a thing I would have done 10 years ago when I had no money and enjoyed taking unnecessary risks to save a few $100, but now I have a little more money, enough to move up the idea ladder from asinine, past imprudent, to somewhere around questionable. No, we need a trailer with a platform. Building it myself seems like the low-cost option, but the cost actually starts to grow when you begin adding up all the parts. The axle and the tongue, wheels, tires, a bunch of box steel, lots of paint, fenders, lights, wiring, the cranky dolly thing that probably has a name, the ratchety pulley thing that probably also has a name. The cost starts to rise, but mostly I just started to realize that the time it was going to take to actually assemble all of this was not insignificant. The welding, painting, fastening, wiring. I don't really want to build a trailer, I just want to have a trailer. So let's buy one. When you add up the requirements here, a boat trailer seems to be a good option. They're long, relatively light, but I can carry the weight I need, and they often come galvanized, which will be great for the extremely corrosive salt flats. There are a lot of boat trailers for sale, but most of them come with a boat. I could buy one with a boat, but I'm trying to keep this whole thing simple, and buying a boat is literally the exact opposite of keeping things simple. I did consider buying a boat with a trailer, then going straight to the junkyard and just leaving the boat, but then I came across a perfect trailer. Galvanized 2,000-pound axle, the right length, narrow enough to fit down my stupid narrow alleyway. It even has the flanges to add brakes if I want to do that, which I might. So, I have a trailer. Now I have to get a land speed car onto the trailer. I don't need these boat slidey things, so those can come off. I do need a floor, but just in the middle, so I'm going to make this kind of like a utility trailer, but just about 2 feet wide in the middle. I'm going to use 4 2x6s, but I'm going to reinforce the middle with a vertical 2x4 and then reinforce the outside with 2x4s as well. This was pretty simple to build. I just pocket drilled holes and screwed the wood together into a platform. I cut out spacers to fill the gap between the platform and the curved metal of the trailer, then I painted the whole thing. I had to add some steel right here to bridge the gap between the front and the rear. I did this in board shorts, which I do not recommend. When you're welding, you gotta wear a long sleeve shirt, or you can add sleeves to your shirt like this, but you have to make sure that there's overlap there, because if there's not, you get that little guy. The car, as it is 15 feet long, but it does have a tail that's another 6 feet long, but I'm making that easily removable since that complicates things like storage and trailers. In any case, I'm not using it today for the first drive. Remember how this video was about the first drive? Anyway, back to the trailer. The trailer ended up being about a foot too short, mostly because of the cranky wheel thing and the ratchety rope thing being in the way. I fixed this by just welding on a foot-long extension. I replaced the ratchety rope thing with a new ratchety rope thing since the old one was kind of gross. I also bought a dolly to move the trailer around the yard. This I did buy from Harbor Freight. This trailer has a couple of bonus uses. With the platform in the middle, I can use it to haul motorcycles. I can also probably use it to haul my Honda S600. The Honda only weighs 1,300 pounds and its width is narrower than the inside of the wheels here, so I can add platforms and haul that thing around. Like I said before, the trailer has flanges for So now that we have the trailer, all we need to do is tow the car out to the desert and take it out for its first drive. Right after we get it on the trailer. The first step of getting it on the trailer is getting it off the table. I have an engine hoist that works well for this, but it has a couple of problems. One is that I didn't make the bottom shelf of the table high enough to get the legs of the engine hoist under, so I had to lift up the whole table by shoving a floor jack under the side of it. The hoist is a bit of a pain to move around. I might be upgrading the casters here in the future. Once it's on the ground, there's another problem, and that is that it's not actually on the ground. It's on the legs of the engine hoist. So I gotta jack up the back and then unhook it and then slide out the hoist and then let the jack down. But that's it. We're done. Ready to go. As soon as I get it on the trailer. The trailer platform is at a bit of an angle, but it turned out to not be enough. I hooked up my ratchety rope thing and dragged the car up, but it was scraping quite a bit on the ramps. Part of the problem is that my ramps have this arch in them. This is not helpful. This is the opposite of helpful. So I shoved some wood under the front tires and dragged it up more, then lifting the rear with the jack, then some more dragging. I'm going to have to find a better way to get this on and off, maybe by lifting the rear tires of the tow vehicle. But it's on there, and it is ready to go. Tomorrow. It's getting late. Time for some sleep. And then off to the desert. I was meeting some friends at the lake bed, the guys from the 9999 car. They were doing some testing, and it's always good to have extra eyes out. I wasn't planning on doing anything fast, just some low-speed shakedown runs, make sure everything's working, see how bad my engine tune is. I did find a way to get my trailer at a higher angle so I could actually get the car on and off the trailer. In the future, I'll have to use some of these on the back of the 4Runner. Anyway, I know we're way into this video and we haven't even started trying to get this thing working yet. This is going to be a long video because the stuff never works the first time. No, I'm just kidding. It totally worked the first time. This thing is great. The steering is perfect. The engine tune isn't fantastic, but it's pretty good for literally 0 tuning time. The brakes worked great, maybe a little too good. I might ditch one of the calipers. The turning radius is abysmal, but that was by design. There was one small issue. I did get some crankshaft trigger errors at higher revs. I called up the guys at DIYautotune.com and they were super helpful. The MS3 Pro sometimes needs a resistor on the crankshaft sensor on high revving engines. The ECU comes with these resistors when you buy it. I just need to solder it in and that should fix the problem. I had to do this on my CBR 1000RR engine in the S600. 14,000 is a lot of RPMs. After I get it in there, I just need to figure out how to rev up my engine to redline in my backyard without getting the cops called. All in all, it was a great day. I have a few more things to finish up, like that tail I was talking about, but the car runs and drives, and it does it pretty well. And that is how you build a trailer. Or wait, that is the car's first drive. I don't even know what this video is about anymore. It used to be that you had to impress people to get people to watch your show. Now you just have to impress the algorithm. So do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. All hail the algorithm.